guys, Pretzelman945 here. Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the video game that I finished yesterday, which is Pokemon Legends ZA. I know I'm a bit late to the party on this one, but I wanted to wait for it for Christmas because I didn't really want to pay $70 for it. Um, Although I probably would have because of how much fun I had with the game, but I got it as a Christmas gift from my grandparents, so I played it. I've been playing it for like the past week and a half. I actually got through it very quickly, realistically. um, I love this game. I think it's fantastic. Uh, I want to start with the story. I think because I think the story is by far the best aspect of this game. Um, so I don't know if anyone watching this video would also happen to have been a fan of Pokemon X, Y, and Z when they were younger, but I was a huge fan of that, and it's tied with Black and White for my favorite Pokemon anime. Um, I was a big Pokemon kid, and like XYZ was the last one that I really watched. Like after the inclusion of that, I didn't really watch any more Pokemon. Um, so it will always hold a special place in my heart, and especially near the end of it, it had such a cool like final battle and bit of story with like Lysander's evil plan. He was actually a decent villain, and like the way that it incorporated Zygarde was just extremely cool. Um, and this game, like the story, sort of acts as a follow-up to that, which I find fascinating as a concept, and it's such a brilliantly executed concept too. Because as far as I know, like the character, as far as I remember anyway, the character of AZ didn't really exist in the. I'm pretty sure he's like a character that's original in this game, and yet they come up with such fascinating bits of lore about who he is, about what he did, about like uh what Lumiose Tower is going through, how it's like um become this thing where it uh how it's become this sort of thing where it how do you say it's become this crazy mysterious thing which supposedly caused like all these rogue mega evolutions going around. And I also I love the idea of like Lumio City being this sort of place where people in Pokemon can live in harmony. I think that like world building idea for Lumio City is really unique, and the way that and the way that like the various side missions and stuff like that all kind of have this theme of sort of like you battle people that work together with Pokemon, or like the issues that you help resolve end up causing the human and the Pokemon to work together. I love that all those concepts sort of connect together, and it makes for a very immersive like world of Lumio City that you're playing in. And also like the whole mystery around Zygarde appearing and like what is actually causing the rogue mega evolutions, and then eventually you see Lysander again, um who's like lost his memories, but instead of trying to control Zygarde this time he's sort of like on the opposite side where he realized his mistakes in a way, and now he is doing Zygarde too. And like that opposite dynamic is fascinating. Um and like the plot twist that you find out when you're exploring Lysander's lab is just crazy. And um and then like the final battle is just truly absolute cinema, like where you have to fight off these tentacle things, which is a really hard fight, mind you. But then like in between you can like use a crazy powerful move as Zygarde's 100% form to like stop the tower. and then it's eventually turned into a wild zone. It's such a awesome story, which is such an amazing follow-up to the anime story, which I didn't even know that I needed, and yet I love the idea of that so much. So the story is by far my favorite aspect of this game. Um, another thing that I do really love though is the new style of battling where you can like move around and stuff. I think it's really unique. I think it adds a lot of sort of dynamics to the battling system, especially in the battle zones where you can like surprise opponents and stuff like that, and they can catch you off guard. Although I think often the circumstances where that happens can be kind of bullshit. Now this is a game which I had a lot of nitpicks with. Not like big problems because I think it's a fantastic game, but there's a ton of little things that I kind of have nitpicks with. And the first one of those about the battle system is the fact that I sort of like I love the idea of being able to move the Pokemon around, but I feel like it should have sort of been a system where you move around the Pokemon directly in a battle instead of moving the trainer around and the Pokemon follows you via somewhat clumsy AI at times. Like, it's not a huge issue and it doesn't really make a difference in a huge amount of battles, but there are situations where it can, like the AI just will get stuck on something or can't get through a doorway because the Pokemon is too big or stuff like that. Um, where I kind of wish that there was just a bit more of a like I don't know. I don't even know how it would be done, but I wish there was a bit more control over the Pokemon's movement itself. But it's also like not a huge element not a huge problem I have with the battling necessarily. Um, regarding exploring Lumio City, the fast travel system is great. Um, However, I do and I like the idea of exploring on roofs. I do. Although there are some locations which feel like they're kind of impossible to reach if you don't know the exact way to get there. That's another nitpick of mine. It can feel quite ridiculous at times. And also with regarding traversal around the city, I really don't like the whole scaffolding thing because often it just ends up being an extreme annoyance to me. Um and yeah, I just find that I'm not particularly a big fan of that. Although for the most part traversal around the city is generally fine. I like that you can walk around with with one of your Pokemon out and about. That's a cool thing that you can do. Um and what else do I want to talk about? I do really wish this game had voice acting because a lot of the cutscenes and there is a fair amount of cutscenes in this game, which generally look pretty impressive. I I do really wish there was voice acting because it can be quite not distracting, but it can sort of take a little bit out of a scene when there's like a big scene and only one character is talking and you see the subtitles on the screen, but there's no voice acting. Um, I do really wish this game had voice acting. I think it would have really helped cement a lot of emotion in a lot of scenes. But again, it's not the hugest deal ever. And regarding like performance and stuff like that, like for me, I had the Switch 2 edition. This game ran perfectly fine for me. I barely encountered any bugs, and when I did encounter them, it was only like a semi-glitched, funny-looking camera angle, or there was one glitch in near the end of the game where two of the Mega Evolved Pokemon that you fight against just straight up didn't attack me, which was I'll take it. It was just a free win in that case. But like aside from stuff like that, I or the Pokemon AI being somewhat clumsy. I didn't have any glitches or visual bugs or performance issues. I generally thought the game looked pretty good. Now, of course, I haven't really played many of the recent Pokemon games at all, so I don't really know necessarily what I'm comparing it to. I guess I only know that apparently Scarlet and Violet was performed horribly before the big patch it got, and people didn't like how Sword and Shield looked. And Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I only know that from like watching YouTube videos about it. But as far as my experience was concerned, I didn't have any such issues like that. Um, so yeah, that I think that about wraps up my thoughts on this game. Absolutely, just fantastic game. I loved it. Highly recommend it. Super fun game. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.